Greetings. Earlier this week, I was watching a video. Young lady named Sunny Lenarduzzi. I know I mispronounced it, but what can I do? Anyway, she was talking about how the last few videos she's made, she has started to realize that her true audience appreciates her for being more authentic rather than basically selling her services or her knowledge with everything that she knows about YouTube and Instagram or whatever. She initially lost a whole bunch of people when she decided to do a video about Black Lives Matter, and people thought, okay, now she's off topic, we don't want to go there. And what has ended up happening is that a lot of people have stuck with her and been sharing her things because she's showing this authentic self. It's a totally different thing from her. Not that she wasn't authentic about everything else she was talking about, but you know, when you start talking about personal things and you're willing to say, you know what, yes, I've got this big thriving thing going on, but my God, I just got to say something. You know, the algorithm that YouTube has just may say, nah, you know what, we ain't about that, we're going away. But she has actually started doing pretty good. She has locked into a great subscriber base. I mean, you know, she's got over 450,000 people who are subscribed to her channel, so it's not like it's going to hurt her all that much. But still, you know, it was impressive. And so it made me think about the videos that I've been doing since 2011. I think that's when I did my first video. It may have even been earlier than that, you know, but I've got the two channels. And I had to say, you know what, have I always been authentic with everything I've done? And truth of the matter is, yes. You know, there have been some big YouTubers lately who have been taking some hits, and some of them have decided, you know what, we're just going to leave YouTube. You got Shane Dawson, because he did a lot of things. He did some horrible things at the same time. You got Jenna Marbles, who got called out for doing blackface, you know, 10 years ago or something like that. There's been some other folks, and they're just taking all kind of heat and whatever. And, you know, I'm one of those people who says, okay, if you were a child, I'm not going to beat you up for that. But these were grown folks. I mean, you know, they were early 20s. And they ended up being millionaires because what they did was they did weird stuff or wild stuff to try to entertain an audience. But when they look back on it, as they've gotten older and started to change who they were, they realized, you know what, maybe this isn't the way that I should go. Shane Dawson had started doing documentaries and different things like that. But he got called on his older stuff. And even though he kind of apologized, because, you know, when all is said and done, if you're doing stuff like that, if you're doing what they used to call prank videos, who I always wondered, how come those people never get beaten up? How come none of those people have ever been killed or hurt really bad? You know, I mean, there was a guy whose thing, oh my goodness, was to jump out of hotel rooms at least 4 or 5 floors up into the pool, and that only ended when he missed the water the last time he did it. And I thought, well, why would you do something idiotic like that? You know why they did it? Because they wanted the numbers. And sometimes people will do almost anything to get the numbers. That happens on LinkedIn, it happens on Twitter, it happens on YouTube. And I'm not gonna lie, I'd love to have big numbers. I'd like to have, you know, 100,000 people. Heck, right now I shoot for 10,000. I'd love to have 10,000 people. But I'm still, you know, low 500s. You know, it's more than I had a year ago, so I'm not going to complain about it. But I've always been kind of authentic. That's just my style. And I decided, you know what, let me look at some of my numbers that I have based on categories. And like I said, I have 2 channels. And so I'm going to look at, you know, one of the channels here, if you don't mind. And I'm going to look at the playlist. And so, like on this channel, for instance, I've done 37 videos as it relates to entertainment. I've talked about my life. That's 61 videos. I did, you know, 14 interviews. I've talked about technology and products 26 times. I did general commentary 56 times. And motivation and education 111 times. And, you know, blogging and social media, which is the thing I talk about most of the time here, 149 videos. In other words, I have stuck on certain points. Now I looked at the business blog, business YouTube channel. On that one, leadership is the thing I talk about most often, and I've done 128 videos. I've done 26 on diversity topics. Well, I've done diversity here, I've done diversity there. So the videos that I've been doing lately where I've been talking about diversity issues, it's authentic. I mean, this is my life. This is what I do. I'm a healthcare consultant. I also have done seminars on leadership and diversity. I've traveled to other states doing that. So it's authentic. Blogging and social media, well, goodness, I've been blogging since 2005. I used to build websites. I was good at building websites, but I was a horrible designer. I just don't have the eye for designing. But, I talk about things that I know. And if there's something I don't know about, I don't really talk about it. I have asked questions here and there when I've done a video, but you ask those questions because you get other people thinking. I certainly don't know everything. I'm not omniscient. I just am not. I don't know it all. But I know about the things I like to talk about. I know a lot about authenticity. This is what I do. And I've been writing all these blogs all these years. You don't tell any lies. I don't tell everything. You're not supposed to tell everything about yourself. There are certain things you need to keep to yourself. You may drop something every once in a while here and there, but in general, you know what? Y'all don't need to know. You give too much. Someone says, well, the only way you can be authentic is to be totally open. No, I'm not buying that. I hope no one else buys that either, because we just don't need to go there. Every once in a while, you know what? I think that people will benefit if someone's had an eating disorder, or if someone was dyslexic, or maybe someone's gone through, other mental issues, PTSD. I think that there's a lot of people who are probably going through some of the effects of PTSD because of being, sequestered or quarantined in their homes for so long. A lot of things have changed. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are looking at the Black Lives Matter movement, and some people are staying in the house or staying away from saying certain things because they're scared about what could happen to them, which is interesting. For once, a little bit of fear is on the other side. Still, I think that to just go for numbers in social media, to just say the right things but not believe in them, that's just not going to get it done. You will eventually, you will make a mistake, and people will call you out on it. Was it just this morning, for instance, you heard about Nick Cannon, who had a guy on his show named Professor Griff, who I didn't remember initially until they mentioned that he used to be with Public Enemy, until they kicked him out in 1989 for saying anti-Semitic stuff. And they had a podcast. They each said stuff that was not right. And Viacom decided, okay, that's it. We're done. Viacom did what they had to do. Nick Cannon doesn't like it, but they did what they had to do. And he was being authentic, but he was just a little bit too authentic. It's just going to mess up his legacy. Chuck Woolery, of all people, just to mention him. I didn't even remember that he was on the show where you spun the wheel. I knew he was a game show host. I could not remember what he did. But now he thinks that this virus is a hoax. I think that every person who believes that the virus is a hoax needs to volunteer to go to the hospital, walk through ICU without a mask and in short sleeve shirts, see the people who are on ventilators, and then see if you get it. And if you get it, own up to it. Don't be a punk. Yes, I said that because I've got to protect me, I got to protect my mother, and I'm wearing a mask. That's just all it is to it. And if you don't care about protecting others, then you're being authentic or you're being a jerk. Yeah, once again, I took a stand on something. Anyway, what do you guys think about this concept of being authentic on social media, in your real life? Are you scared to be authentic? Do you think that maybe authentic means you should totally open up everything to the world? Or you think, it's okay to hold some things back? Y'all let me know. And by the way, just to mention this, I'm going to include a link down below. I was interviewed by a young lady named Brandy Ann Yuri. I'm going to mess up her name too. I'll just link to it down below. I was interviewed. It came out live on Tuesday. If you're interested, go take a listen to that. Let me know what you think. Anyway, my name is Mitch Mitchell. If you like stuff like this, please hit the like button. Think about subscribing. I got a second channel, which if you look through the profile down there, you can see that one. You can go take a look, see if you like stuff like that. Y'all take care. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. We'll talk later.